Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carly and I run a handmade small business called Marie Lynn Made. And today we're going to be making some Kindle sleeves in our 7 new fabric prints that we got. And eventually all of our products will be available in these prints, but for now I'm just working on the Kindle sleeves to have them ready for the Watermelon Festival coming up. So we've got the pockets here and I just have to add the labels on them. But yeah, these are the 7 prints. So we've got this one. It's kind of like a coastal beach vibe. It's giving Florida. But I just love this one. And you guys know I love my blues. So we've got that one. And I don't have names for any of these yet. This is just kind of like, I'll obviously at the end of the video, you guys will know the names. But yeah, this one is like a peachy pink floral. And then we've got another blue one with white flowers and the crosses there. And this one is my sister's favorite. And it's got like all gardening things on it. So she's the gardener in the family and I am just the crafty girl. I'll make all the things, but I cannot garden. I don't have a green thumb at all. So I'll leave that to her to grow all the vegetables and all that. But I can't. I don't know. Maybe I could, but I've tried and it just, nothing grew. So I don't know. I just don't have it. So she does. She loves that print. Gardening is not for me. I'll stick to like sewing and crafting. But this one here is going to be a new patchwork. I love this one. I think it's going to be a really big hit in all of my products here. And all of the patchworks that I have in my shop do very well. So I'm excited for you guys to get your hands on this one. It's like pastel pinks and purples and blues and like a little hint of green in there. I just love it. This is another one that I am loving. It's like a small dainty yellow floral. I don't have a lot of yellows in my shop either, so I definitely wanted to get my hands on that one. And we've got this one. It's like a muted sage green kind of. So we're going to be working on those. And I did get a little bit of watermelon fabric for the Watermelon Festival. It's not going to be a lot of products that I'm bringing with me to the Watermelon Festival in this print. I only got a yard, so I think I'm going to have like 3 small zipper pouches, some keychain wallets, 1 medium book sleeve, and then I'll have 2 Kindle sleeves. So we've got that we're going to work on. And then these are little patchwork pieces that I've made from pieces of the fabric left over from the quilt that I did in the last video. So I kind of just pieced them all together, and we're going to be making some probably small zipper pouches and keychain wallets out of those as well. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys along with me this week while I work on these Kindle sleeves. From last week's video, I know that it came out late, and I do apologize about that. My husband had a really big like health scare and it was kind of terrifying. So, but all checked out. He's all good. He just has to go see a couple of doctors and figure out like what actually is going on. We thought that he was having a heart attack, but his heart checked out. His blood pressure is great. He did an echo with the ultrasound and there's like no blockages or anything. So now it's just kind of trying to figure out like what that pain was. So yeah, it was it's kind of scary. So, but he's all good. He checked out, and I appreciate you guys just being so kind and understanding that the video came out late. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And we're going to get started on all of these Kindle sleeves. So we've got the pockets all done there with the labels. We've got all of our liners here. I've got white, the pink gingham, purple gingham, and then this kind of like sagey green to go on this little mini yellow floral pattern. I think it's going to be super cute because the green matches really well with the like leafy parts of the flower. So I'm just gonna pin all of these together here. And I just saw that the lady who is running the Watermelon Festival, she just posted kind of like, you know, what to expect and all of that with the market, who's going to be there. And if you're local to me or the Tampa Bay area and you watch like the weather, Dennis Phillips is going to be there, and it said that he was going to have a live appearance. And if anybody knows me, you know that I love weather. I love learning about it, watching it. I should have went to school for weather. But if he shows up there, that will be amazing. I will be the happiest girl on the planet. Of course, I want to be there, you know, to sell my products and, you know, meet customers and get my name out there. But if I get to meet Dennis Phillips, I will make my year. So if you guys are local to the area and you want to go to the Watermelon Festival to meet Dennis Phillips, he is supposedly going to be there. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I have an audiobook going right now, and I'm also reading a book. I don't really like to do that, but the reason I do that is at work, it's so crazy. Okay, at work before my shift starts, like I get there at 10 and our doors open at 11, so I have an hour of kind of like prepping and all of that. So I will listen to an audiobook while I'm opening. And then if it's slow, I bring my Kindle with me to work too. After I'm done prepping and everything and I've got all my work done, but I will read on my Kindle because obviously I can't have my AirPods in while I'm at work listening to my audiobook. So I've got an audiobook going and I'm also reading a book. But my audiobook right now is Wild Eyes, which is, I believe it's the second book in the Rose Hill series, and I'm loving it. I love all of the characters, and I think it's based out in Canada, but it's just so good, and it's just like all these little love stories, and it makes me feel good. So I've got the audiobook going on that, and then I'm also reading Jar of Hearts and on my Kindle, and that one is amazing so far. I wouldn't, maybe amazing isn't the right word. It's very like thriller right now because we're not sure like what's going on. Did this really happen? I'm not too far into it. So I'm just starting out on that, and I'm not going to give you guys like any spoilers or anything, but I'm not too far into that one. But I'm liking it so far, and I'm really interested how everything is going to play out. So those are the two books that I've got going on right now. And I just finished Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. I loved that one. I love Frida McFadden. I love the way she writes, and it's just, it's so good. And what was the other one I finished? The second book to the arrangement, I think, yeah. So the arrangement, and then it goes to the amendment, and I finished that one as well. So got a lot of books going on. That's what I'm doing in my spare time. Watched a couple of documentaries, as always, but like I said, I've kind of watched just about everything. On Disney Plus, I've gotten into the Cold Case Files, which I think is super interesting, and I like watching those, the ones that are solved, and that's why I like watching Cold Case Files, because it shows, you know, like these are obviously really cold cases, and these new detectives come in after like, you know, however long, 15, 20, 30 years, if not more, and they're solving these cases with, you know, new things that they can do. And the DNA, obviously, like in the 60s and 70s, they didn't have all the technology that they have nowadays, and it's just really neat, and it's fascinating to me, even like the genealogy stuff that they're doing, you know, finding all of these killers through the genealogy and like, you know, putting it into that database, and then finding like, you know, a distant cousin or relative to these people, and then dwindling it down to like, okay, this is the guy or girl. So I've been watching those as well. But I'm really excited about these new fabrics as well. I feel like it's going to give my shop and, you know, at the festivals or like upcoming markets, like new fresh looks. And yeah, I've been wanting some new fabrics in the shop for a while, so I just finally bit the bullet and, you know, got all of these, and I am super, super happy, and I just love every single one of them. Like I said, I don't even know which one would be my favorite. I love these two. I think you guys can tell, like dainty florals are really my favorite, but I like the gardening one, the coastal beach vibe one I love too. And hopefully you guys like them as well. So I'm just gonna go through and finish pinning all of these together, and then we will put the pocket on and all of that. And I also wanted to mention to you guys that I did start a membership program on YouTube. You don't have to sign up, don't feel obligated or anything. I'm trying to work out like what perks are going to be available. But right now we have like loyalty badges that you'll get in the comment section, and there is a discount code for my website that's going to be monthly. So each month the code will change. But if that is something you guys are interested in, there is a like a join now button there that you guys can join if you'd like. I'm going to try and figure out some other perks that would be good for you guys. If you can think of something, just let me know. But right now it's just pretty much the discount on my website. But I'm going to get to finish pinning these, and then we're just gonna sew the top of them, and then we'll be ready to add the pockets on there. And then I think we're gonna work on this patchwork and figure out what we're gonna do with that. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. So this is like the small batch of Kindle sleeves I have finished. I've got some more finished. I just have to sew up the liners here, but these are all sewn up. So I'm just gonna trim the little strings off, put the liner inside, and then we'll do a top stitch around, and these will all be finished. I'm really happy with how they came out. I am in love. I love this one. I love it so much. And we paired that one with a pink gingham. It is just so pretty. And then the like gardener one has a purple gingham. Ooh, I love it. And then this yellow one with the green. I love all of these new fabrics, and I feel like I needed to get some new fabrics to kind of like, you know, spice things up on the website and, you know, bring some new life back into the business. So I'm happy that I got all of those, but now I'm going to bring you guys over to the computer to show you how I make my labels and everything. So I'll show you how I do my prayer quilt labels, which look like these ones right here. So they're just the small little labels that I put on my prayer quilts, and then all of my labels that I put on my products. So all these little ones. And these are what they turn out to be. And this is what I use. It is Trans or Dream True Heat Transfer Paper. And this is listed in my Amazon storefront down below if you guys are interested in making your own. I've had a couple questions on how I make them, if I buy them, like where do I get them, but I just make them myself. I found that that's like the easiest and cheapest option for me. Sometimes if you're buying labels, they can be pretty expensive. So this is just what I use, and I'm going to bring you over to the computer to show you guys kind of like how I do it in Canva, and then bringing it into Google Docs, and then printing it out, and then we'll bring you over to my ironing board and I'll show you how I iron them onto the fabric. So let's go over to my computer. All right, so we're in Canva and we're going to create a design custom size. And I do 2 inches wide by a 1/2 inch tall. You guys can do whatever size, you know, works best for you. I just like the way that these come out, the rectangle shape. So you're gonna add a heading, put whatever title you want in there, and you pick your font. And then you're going to pretty much try to get the image as big as possible inside this space or whatever space you have chosen. And yeah, just make sure it's centered and all of that. And I like to add a line border around my labels. That way when I'm cutting them out, I know where to cut and it's not like going to be like a wonky cut. So, or like, you know, crooked or whatever. So this is how I make my border around the label there. And I'll just duplicate it for the bottom one. And then I'll duplicate it again for the sides. And then once I have the border all finished here, still like kind of, I guess, playing around with it. Can't get it the way, there we go. Okay. So once you've got it all, the border all around it, and make sure everything is centered and all of that, you're gonna go over to the share button and you're going to download. Advanced setting, and I always put transparent background. Then you'll download it and you're going to bring up the Google Docs and you'll start a new Google Doc, blank document, and you're going to insert image, upload from computer. If I could click it, that would be great. So then you'll go to your downloads. It should be that top one there. And you're going to right click it, go to image options, size and rotation, unlock the aspect ratio, and then whatever size you made the label, that's what you're gonna put in here. So again, 2 inches wide by a 1/2 inch tall. And you're going to make sure that that is wrap text is clicked and then your 0 inch margin. And you're gonna just, you know, put it wherever you want, copy, and then paste. You're gonna do that until you fill up the whole entire page there. And as you can see here, this is how I like, or why I like to have the border around the label, just kind of like keeps everything in place there. So again, you're just gonna copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and fill up the whole entire page there. Now this is mine that I've made, and you're gonna go to File, Print, and whatever printer you're using, just make sure that, you know, that's where the destination is going. And I like to click more settings and then print using system dialog. Again, make sure that it's the correct printer, more settings, standard, media type, plain paper, print quality is high, your paper size, and then not the cassette, I use the rear tray on mine. And then you'll click print and it'll print them out. And then again, with the same thing with the prayer quilts, you're going to have it in Canva, put whatever size you need, whatever you want it to say, and then the border around it, and then you'll just insert them in here, you know, size them correctly, and then you'll do the whole thing again, file, print, and just make sure, you know, all the printer settings are correct. All right, so we are over at the ironing board now, and I hope my shadows aren't gonna bother you guys too much, but this is kind of like the best area that I have to show you. So just bear with me on that aspect. But this is just right here, just 100% cotton white fabric. Any 100% cotton white fabric will do. And I just give it a nice iron just to make sure like all the wrinkles and everything are out. You can use your steam option. That's what I do, just to make sure it's, you know, really, really flat, because any little wrinkle is going to show up under these labels here. So that will be nice and flat here. And let me grab the labels. So we've got our sheet that we've printed on, and I just kind of trimmed off the edges around it there. So we're just going to peel it off of the backing here gently. You don't want to be too rough with it, but it should come off real nice and easy. And I'll just peel it all away. And that is trash right there. What you're gonna do is just lay it on here. All right, and the transfer sheets will come with this little cover sheet. So it comes with 2 of them. So just make sure you save those and you don't get rid of them. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have this laying on your fabric here. And then you've got your little cover sheet there. And you just iron it on. I like to do probably a good 30 seconds to a minute. I've actually never read the directions on how long, but you know, I just do it until I feel like it's really, really on there. And then you can take that off and check it as well. I'll check these little corners, and if I notice it's coming up a little bit, I'll just go over it just for a little bit longer. You just want to make sure all the edges are really sealed onto that fabric there. And you definitely have to make sure that you have that cover sheet when you're ironing, because if you just put your iron right onto that paper, it's just going to melt right to your iron. So don't do that, and just make sure that you have your cover sheet here. It's going to be very hot, so I'll just double check all the sides here. All right, so they're all ironed on there, and I just check, you know, just take my nail and just make sure that it's on there. And then I'll grab some scissors I have here. Any scissors will do. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it straight across, because that way I know another one is going to fit right there when I print it. So we'll put this piece of fabric away. And then this is all of our labels iron on to the fabric here. And like I said, you have to make sure like there's nothing on the fabric, no like little stray hairs or anything like that, or wrinkles, because it will show underneath the labels here. And then what I like to do is just take my scissors wherever they went. Here they are. And I will just go right up that line there. And I'll do it all this one. Okay. And then you've got your strips here of all of your labels. And you can trim off this side as well. And you can make your labels, you know, whatever size you want. I know some people have squares. This is just what I like, and I think it looks good on my products, but you guys are more than welcome to make them whatever shapes you want to make them. Just whatever you think looks good for your branding. So then what I like to do is, so you've got this whole strip here, and I'll grab my container. And so I'll set my container right there, and I'll just take my little strips and just cut them like that. And then that's how I make all of my labels. And then so with my prayer quilt ones here, same thing. I would trim off all around the sides here. And you can definitely trim on the in-between too. It just, depending on the size that you want. I use the sizes that work for the squares that I use for my prayer quilts. But then I peel that off, put it onto the fabric, and then iron it on as well. and trim them out. And that's how I make my labels and my prayer quilt labels as well. And I hope me showing you guys how I make my labels and then the prayer quilt labels helps somebody, because I know I struggled a bit with it before I found the Transar Dream transfer paper. And it's really I love this product. I love it a lot. I don't have any problems with it coming off of the cotton at all. It stays on there very well. And I just wanted to show you guys kind of like how I do it in Canva and then bringing it into Google Docs and then like how I print them and put them on the fabric. So I just wanted to show that to you guys for those of you who are wondering. I've had a couple questions about like if I purchase them or like how they're made. So that's the best way that I know how to show you guys how I make them. So I hope that helps. And I didn't make anything out of these two pieces yet because I truly don't know what I want to do with them. I'm sure if you guys are crafters as well, you can understand where I'm coming from. Like you've got this fabric, but you don't know what you want to make with it yet. So I'm struggling with that a bit. If you guys have any ideas, just let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, I'm very happy with the new fabrics, and it's something like fresh and new for the website and for the markets coming up as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for hanging out with me again this week. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I post every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.